Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So I want to go ahead and show you guys this new toolbox that I just got. I want to go ahead and open it up. Let's go through it and see what's in there. So this box was given to me by Paul, and Paul worked for us for my day job. He retired back in November. All right, he wasn't a machinist down there, you know, where I was at, but he used to be a machinist, and he had retired from there, and then he had got a job working where we're at down there, and you know, he was in the office doing billing and that kind of stuff. But he officially retired completely in November, and he's moving to South Florida. And he decided that he wanted to go ahead and give me his toolbox. So I had heard that he was asking some of the guys that was helping him clean up and, you know, move his stuff and all, like, what should I do with these tools? And he decided, you know what, I want Adam to have them. So he brought them to me, and it's very cool. I was very honored that he did that, and I was completely surprised about it. And there's a funny story about this too that I wanted to share with you. Me and Paul were always good friends, and you know, every time I went in the office, I talked to him. He always had this really nice, brand new, the 4-inch Starrett precision level. He had it sitting on his desk there, kind of like a little just conversation piece. And I used to go by him every time. I'd be like, "Hey, you ready to sell me that level?" He'd be like, no, I want to keep that." So every time I go by there, it's, "All right, man, you ready to sell me that level? I got the money right here." And he wouldn't sell me that level. And so whenever the other guy, Scott, he worked there too, and he was telling me that Paul was going through his tools and trying to decide what to do with them. I told Scott to tell Paul, I said, "Hey, let him know I'd really like to have that level, and I'll buy it from him." So what does Paul do? He ends up bringing me his tools, his toolbox here, and he keeps the level. I guess maybe that level just meant so much to him, or I don't know, but you know, that was the one thing I really wanted to get from him, was that level. But he ended up keeping that, and maybe that's just one thing that he decided to keep and take with him to remind him what he did. But anyway, we've got a lot of nice tools in here to go through, and about to open it up and share it with you. We got a really bad thunderstorm about to roll through. You guys will probably hear some thundering and lightning. Just how luck of the draw is, I guess. So I've got some extra light up here. I've added another clip light, so maybe you guys can see all this really nice. I'm going to pull the toolbox over here and try to get you in a little closer, and we'll open up these drawers and see what's in here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start with these two items here first before we get into the box. All right, this is just an old cigar box, and it's just got a few cutters in there, some grinding wheels, you know, just some used end mills. There's some kind of looks like a boring bar of some sort, or I'm not sure what he used it for. Carbide router burr in here. Now here's a different end mill. I can't say I've ever seen one like that before. It's got threads here on the end. 5/8. Yep, I don't think I've ever seen one like that before. That's pretty neat. Like I said, just a few end mills. There's another carbide bar, and it looks like he made this. Looks like it was silvered inside there. Okay, so there's the little cigar box. All right, then we'll move on to this. This is a really nice piece right here, and he made this himself. He did some tool and die work, so there is some items in here that he made. So we'll pull this sucker out, and this is a nice angle plate that he made himself. And he made the box himself too, the case. You know, the wooden case that it sits down in to protect it. So he did some fine work on this. And it's all precision ground. And really nice piece to add to the shop collection because I don't have anything like this. And we'll put her back in the, put it the right way. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to the box. Go ahead and open her up. Yeah, it's popping. All right. So we can see this is not a Kennedy box, it's actually a Craftsman, but it's built identical to a Kennedy. And there is a lot of rust on this box, and I don't know if it's because of his work environment where he was, or I know that he lived out there in the beachy area, and it may have just been sitting for so long and just accumulating a lot of rust. But so anyway, we'll start with the top here. Got some brown and sharp telescoping gauges. This is a nice set. It's got the longer handles than the longer handles than my Starrett set. A couple of them need some oiling. Well, they all need a little bit of oil on them, and that's the way everything in this box is probably going to be. Need some oil. Set those up there. We got another box right here that says InterRapid. And this is an InterRapid test indicator set. Let's pull it out and look at it. This thing's still in fine shape. Works good too. Yeah, it got me. That thing popped right outside the shop, man. All right, let me pause a minute. I think I got to change my pants. All right, we're gonna continue. That lightning, boy, it scared the crap out of me. My brother actually called and said it looked like that it hit down there in front of Dad's, or in Dad's front yard. He was sitting down there in his chair and he said it looked like an explosion down there. But everything's fine. So we're gonna move on and see what else is in this box here. This is really cool, man. This is a little vise that he made. It looks like a little shaper vise. Never seen one like this before. All right, very cool. All right, we got a couple mics in here. They need cleaning. They're really dry, but it still turns nice. There's another one here. This one's a little bit stiff, so it needs to be gone through. All right, so the 1 to 2. This is a brown and sharp, and then this one is a Lufkin, the 2 to 3. All right, and here's the fire trucks. Somebody's in trouble. All right, here's a one of those indicator stands made by Starrett, one of those little flexible arm deals. I don't know what this is for, but some kind of eccentric tool. Actually, I do know what that is. That's gonna, okay, that goes with the Starrett. Okay, it came out. I'll have to check that out. All right, we've got some parallels here, and these are the parallels that you use like on a surface plate, the magnetic parallels. I don't know if he made these or what. I don't know, but so there's the parallels. Got some 1, 2, 3 blocks. All right, this one looks like a commercially bought 1, 2, 3 block. All right, here's a set right here that looks like he made. Let me grab my calipers real quick and check with the guessometers. That's 1. And that's 2. So another nice set of 1, 2, 3 blocks. I've only got one set of those, so that's gonna be nice to have some more. All right, that's all for the top of the box, and we'll move on to some drawers. Okay, we'll start with the top drawers here. Looks like there's a bunch of like parallels, gauge blocks, some tool bits. This looks like a tool bit here. There's a bunch of blocks that looks like he actually ground. He made himself. There's a parting blade down in there. This looks like a nice parallel here, and it's got GWL on there, but that's not Paul's initials, so maybe these are some that he may have gotten from someone else. There's looks like a matching pair here. This one's got a different name stamp on it, JJW. That's interesting. So nice set of parallels. We'll measure them real quick and see what the height is. About 1 inch, 200. Yep, that one's about the same. So this may be a matching set. You know, I'll check those later with a mic and see how they measure out. So just a bunch of tools down here, you know, tool bits, and there's another set of parallels that look like this one here down inside. So all right, that's about enough for this drawer. There's some more tool bits down in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all these back in here where they fit now. Move down to this drawer here. Move the camera a little bit. Okay, this is a Lufkin package. Some small hole gauges. There's a telescope gauge there that's missing one of the legs out of it. Got a bunch of spring calipers and dividers. Some really small ones here. This one here is a Lufkin. I like to see what the brands are. This is a brown&sharp. And this one here, oh, there it is. It says Central on it. This one's a Starrett. Got a bunch of them in here. This one is, I believe it says Nork. It looks like it says N-O-R-K, Los Angeles. Brown&Sharp. Got a lot of the nice small ones down in here. There's one more big one. And this is a sterret. I like this style of spring caliper. Really nice. Okay. All right, now this goes to a surface gauge. There's a divider. All right, we got a lot of nice punches in here. Now, that one's bent. He's got, looks like, a whole set of different size. These may not be punches. Well, yeah, they are. I believe they're punches. This one has 5/8 stamped on it right here. I thought maybe it might have been some kind of gauge. Small matching set of parallels, or I mean not parallels, angle plates. Looks like another homemade cutter. And I think that's going to be about it. Here's another cutter that it looks like he made. This is like a spade cutter. Spade drill, I mean. Just different size pin punches down inside this. Looks like he's got a nice full set of them. And these are nice because I don't believe I have any like this. Alright, so let me put all this stuff back in this drawer. We'll move on to another one. Alright, we're going to move on to this side. Alright, this drawer is full of tool bits. And it looks like they're mostly all carbide. There is some high speed mixed in here. And it's always interesting to see somebody else's tool bit drawer because, you know, people have different grinding techniques and just they have different ways of grinding sometimes. So it always is seeing other people's tools, and you wonder what did they use this tool for, you know, because you always find some odd grinds. I see a thread gauge down in here. Yep, got this little thread gauge. This one's been around the block or two. This is a brown&sharp. Alright, we won't linger on this very long. This is just tool bits. We all have a bunch of tool bits laying around in drawers, but I'm sure there's some very useful ones in here. So, alright, so we're going to move on. And it looks like another, what we all know is a junk drawer, just all kind of different things accumulated. Here's some, well, this is utility sleeve, Blenzer, Detro. It holds a 1/2 inch drill. Alright, this one's made by Scully Jones. It has 3/16 drill. This is the Morse taper adapters, guys. And there's another Scully Jones. This one says a 3/8 hand tap. Alright. Now here's a nice pulley tap. It's a 1/4 These are very useful to have, especially when you got a long reach application like some kind of hub that you got to go down and get down to the center to tap a hole. Alright, we got some reamers. Different size reamers. Some drills. There's a tapered pin reamer, number 6. a little rubber boot for something. Here's a set of those machinist buttons. Alright, these are made by brown&sharp, number 758C. And one of them's missing. I don't know if it's down in here somewhere. I'll have to look and see if maybe it's mixed in with all this stuff. Some ball bearings. Alright. Just a bunch of little odd and end stuff. There is some, I see a bunch of tips for indicators in here. I was just trying to see if there was any really cool little interesting thing that I found that I could see real quick, but I think we're going to call that. Alright, let's go down to the next drawer. Alright, looks like another cutter drawer. We see a bunch of center drills, some more of the cutters that he made. That looks like a spade drill. There's a nice carbide router burr there. Some different boring bars, you know, some of these small boring bars like that. Bokum. Alright. There's a little tube. So in here, here's a little tiny, a very tiny end mill. I don't see a, oh, there's two of them in there. I'd be afraid to even use one of those things. I was looking for a size, but I can't really read the cardboard. Very, very small though. Okay. This is probably a chamfering tool. Yep, a countersink, 82 degree. It's a nice shape. Some more end mills. I see a wiggler set. I've got a couple of these. I don't ever use them. And now these are nice. There's a couple in here. He's got some points ground on, and I've actually had a few people ask me about mine. I've got one you see me use over on the mill all the time for locating a punch mark or a hole. And these are pretty simple to make. If you've got access to a grinder, I mean, you can do one on a lathe too, but you can take an old end mill and grind you a nice point on the end of it, and you can use them for centering up holes, or, you know, centering up punch marks, that kind of thing. So it looks like he made him a few of them. Here's another one here that he made. Ball end mill. There's another point. Center. All right, I think that about covers that drawer right there. Yeah, a little tiny. There's a little tiny counterboring tool. Okay, I think we're gonna call that one done, and we'll move on. All right, let's get down to the bottom drawers here. All right, some more nice stuff here. All right, here's your angle gauge made by General. All right, we've got a steer it 0 to 1 mic. Still feels really nice, but it does need some cleaning up and some oil on it. And we've got the set. Looks like we've got a full set of squares in here, and this is a steer it. It's in really good shape. Now this one was Paul's because I see his initials on here. That says steer it, so this is probably a matching set. Your center finder, your square butt, your angle gauge. There's another divider. I don't believe this is any really high-end one here. I believe this is an inexpensive model. I don't even see a name on it. Here's a nice little toolmaker square, and I don't believe that I have one of these. It's got a nice little looks like a 2.5 inch scale on it, and it is made by Starrett. That's a nice addition there. Here's a couple more of them little angle plates. This is probably might be a matching set. I'll check them out another time and see. Now you guys have shown some of these before in some of your other videos. Some of these angle gauges, and I do not have any. So this will be the first ones that I have in my shop right here. This one looks like your 45 and 90 degree. This one looks like 90 and 30 degree. And I'm very curious, did he make these? I'm looking for his name or something on here, and I don't see any. So no name on it. Alright, I thought I seen a name, but I can't. I think it's just little scratches. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's used with some of these tools though. And here's a nice small square, and I believe this is Starrett. Yep, this is a Starrett. There's some clamps for, they call these Kisi Clamps. There's 2 sets in here. And here's some of the thumb screws. This looks like it goes to a height gauge. Your scriber. Alright, guess you guys can see that. 12-inch scale. Don't see a manufacturer on that. Alright, here's the Starrett scale. This is a 6-inch, and this should go with this square butt right here. If I can get it together. Yeah, there we go. Alright. These are nice. I like this size right here. I don't think I have this size. I got one that's a little bit smaller than that. There's a scriber made by Blue Point. The tip needs to be touched up. It's a little bit dull. That'd be a nice addition right there. Now here's a cool angle gauge. This is a drill gauge, okay? And you use this side for all your standard jobber drills, and then you've got a 90 degree, 130, and 140 degree there for checking your other drills when you're grinding. So that's a nice tool right there, because I don't have one of those. Some material, I don't know what it is. It might be drill rod. Another cool scale. McGill bearings. And here's a 6-inch scale. No, it just says made in USA on it. Alright, there's another one in here too. Let's look at that one real quick. See if I can get it out here without wasting too much time. Now that's interesting. He's got the end ground to a point. Looks like it used to be a 6-inch scale. Put those back in there. Now this is pretty cool. I seen this the other day, and I've never seen one like this. This is one of them little slide calipers made by Lufkin. But it also opens up like this too. That's just neat stuff. I've got another one kind of like this in one of my other boxes, but it doesn't open. It's just built like a regular slide caliper. Lufkin number 17. Cool tool there. All right, let me put these back in here. All right, we're going to move on to the last drawer. This one I got to be a little careful with because it falls out over here on this side. Okay. All right. Now here's the surface gauge. It's got GWL engraved on it. Looking for a manufacturer. I don't see one. So where was that other? There was another attachment to this. Okay. All right, here's, I believe this goes to it. This part here, the scriber and the snug. And then in this last drawer, I seen another part that goes with it, I think. Right here, okay. Yeah, so here's your rod. And take that one out there. Yep, so there's the rod that goes to it. And now I see the name is Sterrett. And this is an old one right here. And there's your snug that goes on it to hold your scriber. Okay. So we got a complete surface gauge. It's in good shape. There's no rust on it, just a little bit of crud built up on it. All right, moving down. And here's a very nice 1-inch Momax tool bit, and I might pressure Tom into grinding one of these for our little turning videos we're going to do. He doesn't want to go up to 1 inch though. He wants to stick to like 1/2 inch or smaller. But I love these big tool bits, and he's got 2 of them down in here. There's another 1-inch Momax. These are expensive tool bits if you actually go and buy one. And I'm lucky that I've got a few. I got one sitting over on my shelf there. All right. So here's a set of V-blocks. Looks like the Toolmaker style V-blocks, and he's got the clamps here. I don't know who they're made by. I don't see a name on them. This one's been used quite a bit. Looks like this was his beater right here. It's got some indentions down in there where his cutters hit. All right, so we got a nice set of V-blocks with the clamp. There's another clamp for the tool holder, and here's a nice big set of pair of parallels. Inch and a half. Looks like a 1/2 by 1.5 inches. And they're about 8 inches long. And these could be some that he made. Looks like he got into it. Well, we've all done that. And here we have a sign bar. Very cool. I have no sign bars. This will be the first one that's in my shop. But this does look like it's something that he built or somebody built if he didn't do it. Okay, all right, the last thing Got a nice sterret case right here, and you've got a very nice back plunge indicator kit. The indicator's still working. It was a little bit sticky. It's probably been sitting there for a long time, but he's got the button taken off the back of it, but there's a couple down in here, and no problem. I've got others, and it looks like the full kit's here. Now, this doesn't belong in here. This goes with another tool. Oh, there's the button for the back of the indicator. I found it. It was laying down in here. I'm gonna stick it back in there where it goes. But it looks like the whole kit's here. You guys know what this is? We're about to find out if I'm right or wrong. That small square butt. I believe it goes to this square butt right here, but there's kind of tight going in there. I don't believe it's this one. It might be. Okay, it's fitting in there. So this must be the scriber that goes to the square butt there. And I thought the size match would be, maybe it'd be for the small one, but it's not wanting to go in there. So I'm going to stick it with this square because I feel like that might be where it goes. Alright guys, well, we dug through Paul's toolbox and we found out what all is in there, and we found some really nice stuff and some really cool tools. And I was very happy to share this with you. And again, I was just very honored that Paul decided to give me his tools. I had no idea that he was going to do that, and it just made me feel really good that he just handed them over. And we've talked about this kind of stuff before in other videos, and other guys have mentioned that this is a trade where you try to pass down to the next generation. And I believe that's what Paul did for me. He knows that I'm a machinist, and I take a lot of pride in my work and what I do, and that I love tools. He knew that I was a tool nut. So I think this made him very happy to hand them down to me. And he's got some nice stuff in here, and I want to spend a little bit of time later and go through some of these things and go ahead and get some stuff cleaned up and put some fresh oil on the tools. But I will probably just leave all his tools here in the box, and I'm going to try to put me a spot here on the workbench and keep the box right up here. But there's some really cool items in this stuff, some things that I don't have, and I love the little surface gauge and all of the tooling that he made himself, you know, like all of the gauge blocks and the little angle plates. This little what I call a shaper vise, but it's probably like a tool maker's vise. This is really neat, something that I don't have. And you know, nice indicator kit, a lot of nice squares, just a lot of cool things. And I'm gonna really enjoy having this box, and maybe one of these days it'll get passed down to somebody else, who knows. So that's about it for the tools. And there was one more thing I want to add real quick that I've been playing around with today. I've been trying some of the CLR cleaner that Chuck Bomarito, outside screwball, he's done some demos in his videos. So I've got some stuff sitting over in a jug now. These are two calipers that I pulled out of my drawer that I wanted to try, and these didn't soak really long, about 3 hours. Okay, this one here is the one that I bought at the flea market that I showed you guys in a past video, flea market finds, and it was really rusty. And I haven't buffed these. All I did was pull them out. I just kind of wiped them, and it's doing a really good job. It's just melting that rust right on off of them. So I'm kind of enjoying this. It's doing a good job. This was another set of calipers out of my dad's toolbox that were really rusty, and the same thing. It just kind of melts the rust off of there. So I just wanted to point this out. I'm just playing around with that also, and seeing how it does. So I got some other heavily rusted calipers in there, and I'm gonna see how that does. So anyway, okay, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed, and again, it was fun to go through this toolbox and show everybody, and that's going to be about it. So hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the great comments. Thanks to Paul for passing down his tools to me, and we'll see you guys later. Okay, take care.